I've had a weird soft spot for Bendy for a few years. Maybe it's the nostalgia I have for the earlier builds of the game, I don't know. But I haven't really thought about Bendy in a while. I'd remember it existed when a sliver of news about the game appeared. Remember Year of the Ink Demon? That's gotta be my second favorite Meatly tweet, right behind this one. So imagine my surprise when on Halloween Day, a video saying a trailer for Dark Revival will come out the very next day. And the trailer was really good, which got me excited. So on November 15th, I got the game, and after beating it, I'm kinda conflicted on how I feel about it. In Dark Revival, you play as Audrey, an animator working at Archgate Pictures, who gets transported into the inky studio, and it's your job to leave the studio without dying to the ink demon. Just like the first game, it's split into 5 chapters, but instead of the first game, where each chapter was like a level you could go back to anytime, Dark Revival is more of a linear game where you're constantly moving forward, and the chapters are really just checkpoints you reach to move the game forward. I'm really quickly going to go over the chapters and the most noticeable thing that happens in them. Chapter 1, Drown the Darkness. This is your tutorial chapter. You start off leaving your desk in search of coffee. You meet Wilson, do a fetch quest, then drown. You walk through the studio and meet a Piper, so you run into a locker before Allison saves you and tells you to stay away from the ink demon. You walk around for a while before realizing you need a weapon, so after stealthing around for a few, you get a weapon so you can now beat people. After walking through some talking ink, you acquire Banish, which I'll talk about later. After going through Animation Alley, you meet Bendy, who you accidentally scare before running into the ink demon. Chapter 2, The Demon's Domain. The start of this chapter involves you collecting papers while hiding from the ink demon, after beating an artist to death, doing a puzzle with a projector, and maybe meeting a slicer if you find it. You help Porter and obtain the phase ability. Once you get that, you go upgrade your pipe, kill some searchers, arrive in Artist Rest where you meet Bendy again before leaving Artist Rest. Chapter 3, The Eternal Machine. After a quick visit from the ink demon and falling through an elevator, you have a boss fight with the Crawling King. He's neat. After that, you meet and talk with Joey Drew for a minute before doing some puzzles in the sewer so you can meet and then promptly kill Lord Almac. Chapter 4, Factory of Horrors. We now arrive in the city, also Bendy's here again. We search around for an ID so we can enter the gym building and run into Joey Drew again, who tells us we're his daughter. We don't believe him, and we make our way into the gym building, where something scares Bendy before running away. We also meet the Keepers, who promptly try to kill us. We sneak around them and meet Heidi, who says she'll open a door if we play hide and seek. We find her and she gives us fast travel. We make it inside the prison-like area and meet Henry, who tells us to find the end reel. We open a pit to try and find it before getting decked by a Keeper. Chapter 5, The Dark Revival. We start off talking to Wilson on a train before he takes us to his house where we meet Betty, who tells us to get some sleep. We find a way to make the sleeping stuff before Alice Angel appears to make us play a game, because she wants our skin. The game consists of us putting the right animals in their place based on what people say. We get it right and we leave. But she comes back and tries to kill us, which starts her boss. After it's over, Allison kills her, and we meet Tom. We didn't have to make our way through a few rooms full of Keepers to make it back to the manor. We go to the lab and Wilson tells us his plan, which involves his OC being way cooler than Bendy. I'm not joking, by the way. But to make his being perfect, he needs our soul. We say fuck that and we kill him. We then ascend down, pull lever, starting a fight with Wilson's OC. After the fight, Bendy saves us, and we join him. Joey gives us, we're now beats Bendy by the way, the end reel, before we stomp our way to Projector, ending the cycle for now. Also, Bendy is real. And that's it for the story. It's really fucking weird, especially towards the end, but it's not the worst thing. Okay, so this will probably be a lot more negative than usual because I do not like most of the gameplay in this game. Let's break down everything so I can say my thoughts. To start off positive, and because I don't really know where else to put this, I really love how this game looks. I always liked the style the original game used, being only a yellowish color and black. It looked really good. Dark Revival keeps this color choice, and it looks amazing. I also really like how later in the game they start adding some bits of color. Okay, on to actual negatives. Despite what the Meatly said, the combat in this game feels the same. It's just two people constantly hitting each other until one of them falls. To my knowledge, there's no way to dodge. I guess technically jumping might help, but I don't know. It seemed to work that one time I frantically hit space, but I don't really know. Unlike the first game, there's only one weapon, which is a gent pipe. There's no way to make the swing itself stronger, but there is a way to charge up your pipe, but the downside is it does require the same batteries that you have to use to charge your pipe to open doors. If I probably planned it better, I could use it more, but I never really used it much. On to the new ink powers you have. They're pretty neat. You have 3 abilities: Banish, Phase, and Fast Travel. Banish is an ability that can instant kill most enemies and heal back a bit of health, but to be able to use it, you have to be crouching behind an enemy. It is really helpful at the beginning of the game, but towards the end, you don't really get many opportunities to pull it off. Phase is a real fun ability. Right-clicking allows you to dash a small distance. It's used real well in a lot of places in the game. I got no complaints about it. Fast Travel is kind of pointless. Maybe others might find some use out of it, but it felt kind of pointless to me because there's really no need to fast travel, especially so late in the game. Let's also talk about the collectibles. There's memos, audio logs, and memories. Memos are the written things. There's a few by actual characters, but most are written by lost ones, and they're pretty cool. Audio logs are the same as they were in the first game. They show people talking about random things. Memories certainly are collectibles. I don't really like them. They do nothing. They offer no benefits, no new dialogue. I guess you can see Audrey look at them, and there are small bits of text in the pause menu, but other than that, nothing. Finally, in terms of gameplay, let's talk about the man of the hour, the Ink Demon. After the start of Chapter 2 and up to the start of Chapter 5, Bendy will randomly appear. There are some scripted times, like his first appearance will appear every time you collect a picture, time he appears after leaving Lost and Found, and the time before the elevator in Chapter 3. When he appears, your screen will go gray, and text will say to run away. It's a fine mechanic. The only downside I would say are the randomness is a bit of a hassle. For example, in my first playthrough, after his first scripted appearance after leaving Lost and Found, I went to leave again, but he randomly appeared, meaning I was fucked because both hiding spots were too far, so I died. Another annoying thing is that when you're in combat, you can't hide, so unless a miracle station is nearby, you're just kind of fucked. God, there is a severe lack of enemies throughout the whole game. You're mainly going to be fighting lost ones, which is kind of cool, but it gets old really fucking quickly. There are other enemies like the Butcher Gang, but I barely fucking saw them. I saw a Piper maybe twice, once in the scripted part at the beginning, and another when I think I saw one in a crowd. I saw one Fisher when I opened the locker and it ran away. There was also a Striker that popped out from the ceiling. Never saw him again. There's also Slicer, who sure was there. Searchers also appear like 3 times. Once to test Banish, which was pretty cool. There's a scene in the lockers where a bunch of them appear, and some spawn in the Beast Bendy segment. Those are neat. Lastly, for normal enemies are the Keepers. You see a lot of them during the last bit of the game. The design is actually really cool. They remove like half your health by ramming into you, which is great. Let's now go over bosses. Firstly is the Crawling King, which is a big spider with a big mouth. Besides the annoying little shits he spawned, the boss isn't so bad. I mainly like the design. The Alice Angel fight is definitely the best fight in the game. Instead of the constant annoying swing like the other fights, you have to make your way up to Alice to kill her. Finally, the Wilson fight. It's just alright. You have to make him open these boxes to put your pipe in to get him to phase 2, which in that phase you just keep whacking his head until you win. And that's all. Let's talk about characters. Characters in this game are hit or miss. I'm really gonna go over major ones, so let's do just that. Audrey is a fine character. She's kind of like Henry, but more expressive. The reveal that she's Joey's daughter is kind of stupid though. The Ink Demon is really goddamn cool. I love his voice and design. Personality wise, he's fine. It's mainly this
"Hey, it's me, the Ink Demon. You should kill yourself, Audrey."
Wilson's alright. His voice is annoying though. But I like how he convinced the entire cycle to trust him. But the reveal that he's Nathan's son is really fucking stupid. I don't even think Nathan says he has a son throughout the game. Joey Drew plays a more prominent role in the game. You see him every now and again, and he tells Audrey about things. He's pretty cool. Allison's here. Cares for Audrey and hopes she doesn't die. She helps in a few scenes. Henry finally gets an appearance and he is just there. He tells us to get the end reel before never being seen until the end of the game. There's a lot of characters that were just kind of there, so let's do a lightning round. Despite Porter getting a whole bio, his 2 scenes are just there so you can get the phase. Lame. Despite Alice's like 15 total minutes, her game is fun, and as I said before, so is the boss. She have the funny gun. Sammy is in jail, then later gets fucking gunned down. Despite what the trailer makes it seem, the Lurker is friendly and has a quest for the pipe. I didn't know about that. And Betty's a maid who tells you to put the fish back and gives you a quest. Also, Bertram is there. So, head. That's all the noticeable characters I can really think about off the top of my head. I don't really have much to say about the music this time. It's good. There's mainly ambience tracks, except for when you get into combat and like stuff with bosses. So here's some of my favorites. In conclusion, even with all my complaints, I would still say to give Dark Revival a chance. If you liked the first game, hell, even if you didn't like the first game, I'd still say to try it. The combat wasn't my cup of tea, but maybe it's yours. That's all for now. See ya.
That I can't pretend I don't wanna see come true. I know it wouldn't make a difference if you thought of me as much as I think about you. But maybe it's deliverance from the pain I know is coming on when my old soul's finally gone. It's not wrong to think about it, but I'll stop for tonight, cause we're immortalized forever in the songs that we write, you know?